took this book out in 1971.
Yes, and I returned it in 1971.
Yeah, 71. That was my first year on the job. Bad year for libraries. Bad year for Americans. Hippies burning library cards. Abby Huffman telling everybody to steal books. I don't judge a man by the length of his hair or the kind of music he listens to. Rock was never my bag. But you put on a pair of shoes when you walk into the New York Public Library, fella.
Cowboys. Dorsett, single setback. Big opening for Tony Dorsett. Look out, he's got great speed. 99 yards and a half. Dorsett down the sideline. Stays in bounds. Can you believe that? Short, 39 yards. Short yardage defense, all bunched up. And that's the 99.5-yard run, I think, is the longest run in the history of the league. It is, and suddenly the whole momentum changes.
Let's face it, where you're betting is just as important as who you're betting on. That's why I go to mybookie.ag. It's fast, it's easy, and they pay you when you win. Look, I wouldn't be telling you to bet mybookie.ag if they weren't the best. Do the smart thing. If you're going to bet this football season, bet with mybookie.ag. Promo code SKIN. That's SKIN. When you use that promo code, MyBookie will match 100% of your deposit up to $1,000. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SKIN.
6 rounds. TJ Hoshimazode. Yes. Lock it up.
Who? What?
TJ, how's vanilla? All right. TJ, who's your mama?
You mean TJ Hushmanzada from the Bengals?
Put him on the board. Hoshimazoli. Got it. Championship.
Make sure to join the Armchair Quarterbacks right here. We'll answer all your questions, pickups, trades, you name it. You want to win your league? Then listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Fantasy football time.
Armchair.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, y'all. Get your morning started off right. Weekdays with the Armchair Quarterbacks, riding shotgun with you wherever you're heading.
Good morning. Hello, and how are you? Early in the morning, I say good morning. Hello, and how are you?
Armchair.
Sometimes we're funny, sometimes we suck.
You don't have to be quiet. Listen to the echo. Hello!
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 Hello.
Mr. Bookman.
I remember when the librarian was a much older woman. Kindly, discreet, unattractive. We didn't know anything about her private life. We didn't want to know anything about her private life. She didn't have a private life. What are you thinking about that? Think about this. The library closes at 5 o'clock, no exceptions.
Do you want to lose 18 pounds fast and improve your health? Now you can lose up to 18 pounds in your first 2 months with Nutrisystem. Get delicious breakfasts, lunches, dinners, even snacks and shakes delivered safely to your door. All delivered for free. It's easy to follow, and you'll see results in your first week. Just text BURN to 323232. You'll get your favorite foods made healthier and perfectly balanced to put your body in fat-burning mode. Text BURN to 323232 right now and get 50% off a month of meals and shakes. That's right, 50% off a month of meals and 50% off a month of shakes with probiotics to help support your immune system. Just text BURN to 323232 right now. There's even a money-back guarantee. Millions of people have lost weight with Nutrisystem, and you can too. Lose up to 18 pounds in your first 2 months. Just text BURN to 323232. That's BURN to 323232.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply STOP to opt out.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and flat out deceived.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
Make sure to listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks. Good enough for us down here in the bayou. Go Tigers and the Armchair Quarterbacks.
It's morning.
Yes, and what a lovely morning. Good morning.
Good morning. We've talked the whole night through.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our dad's always like, who moved my tools? You did, Bobby Builder. Anybody around here building stuff with you? Anybody got no use for your tools? Like the other day, you asked me what happened to my spud wrench. What? What is a spud wrench? I don't use no spud wrench.
Armchair.
CBS Sports Radio.
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on CBS Sports Radio, #1 sports station.
Good morning, and this is your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. If the Celtics weren't done, they're done now. The Boston Celtics say forward Jaylen Brown will miss the rest of the season due to a torn ligament in his left wrist. The injury, which was diagnosed over the weekend, is expected to require surgery later this week, according to the team. It's a massive blow to the Celtics that entered Monday night in 7th place in the Eastern Conference, 2 games behind the 6th place Heat and hoping to avoid postseason play-in round. Brown, a first-time All-Star this season, was averaging 24.7 points, 6 rebounds, and 3.4 assists a game. It looks like Tim Tebow is finally going to be playing for his hometown Jacksonville Jaguars, just not as quarterback. The Jacksonville Jaguars are expected to sign Tim Tebow to a 1-year contract to play tight end. He's 33 years old, a position he never played in high school, college, or his previous 3-year NFL career. A source confirmed the deal has not been agreed upon at this time, but is expected to be signed. Once he signs, he will be reunited with Jaguars head coach Urban Meyer, who coached Tim Tebow at the University of Florida. Signing him is one thing, whether or not he'll make the team is another. There are already 5 tight ends on the roster: Manhurts, O'Shaughnessy, Farrell, Ellefson, and Tyler Davis. The hometown hero will obviously be a fan favorite, sparking jersey sales, but does not necessarily mean he'll be donning the teal and black come opening day. Tim Tebow hasn't seen the football field since the 2015 NFL preseason and has spent the last 6 years as a broadcaster for the SEC network and trying to play minor league baseball, which, by the way, he never hit a home run. Tebow grew up in Jacksonville and starred at Nice High School before signing with Meyer in Florida in December 2005. Sean McCullen won't be converting his NFL salary to Bitcoin after all, at least as not a part of the Kansas City Chiefs. Culkin, who recently attracted attention for his plan to be the first NFL player to convert 100% of his paycheck to cryptocurrency, was released by the Chiefs on Monday. Culkin was trying to earn a job with the Chiefs as a backup tight end behind starter Travis Kelce. Major League Baseball has a full slate today. Starting at 6:10 p.m., you got the Cubs and Indians, with Shane Bieber on the mound. Yankees travel to the Rays for a big one on ESPN at 7 o'clock. And at 7:10, the A's invade Fenway, Bassett versus Eovaldi. At 7:20, the Braves and Blue Jays, Robbie Ray versus Max Fried. Cardinals are at the Brewers at 7:40. Nats and Phillies do battle, and the Orioles are at the Mets. Ace Jacob deGrom heading to the IL. At 8 o'clock, Kenta Maeda and Dylan Cease. It's the Twins at the White Sox. Late night action has the Marlins at the Diamondbacks. Madison Bumgarner is on the hill. And that's your Armchair Quarterback Sports Flash. Stay tuned for more of the Armchair Quarterbacks radio show and YouTube Live. Please like, subscribe, and share our show today. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for sports talk, live from the first. And to be the first NFL player to convert town hero will obviously be a fan favorite, sparking jersey sales, but does not necessarily mean he'll be donning the teal and black come opening day. Tim Tebow hasn't seen the football field since the 2015 NFL preseason and has spent the last 6 years as a broadcaster for the SEC network and trying to play minor league baseball, which, by the way, he never hit a home run. Tebow grew up in Jacksonville and starred at Nice High School before signing with Meyer in Florida in December 2005. Sean McCullen won't be converting his NFL salary to Bitcoin after all, at least as not a part of the Kansas City Chiefs. Culkin, who recently attracted attention for his plan to be the first NFL player to convert 100% of his paycheck to cryptocurrency, was released by the Chiefs on Monday. Culkin was trying to earn a job with the Chiefs as a backup tight end behind starter Travis Kelce. Major League Baseball has a full slate today. Starting at 6:10 p.m., you get the Cubs and Indians with Shane Bieber on the mound. Yankees travel to the Rays for a big one on ESPN at 7 o'clock. And at 7:10, the A's invade Fenway, Bassett versus Eovaldi. At 7:20, the Braves and Blue Jays, Robbie Ray versus Max Fried. Cardinals are at the Brewers at 7:40. Nats and Phillies do battle. And the Orioles are at the Mets. Ace Jacob deGrom heading to the IL. At 8 o'clock, Kenta Maeda and Dylan Cease. It's the Twins at the White Sox. Late night action has the Marlins at the Diamondbacks. Madison Bumgarner is on the hill. And that's your Armchair Quarterback Sports Flash. Stay tuned for more of the Armchair Quarterbacks radio show and YouTube Live. Please like, subscribe, and share our show today. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for sports talk live from the First Coast. Good morning. It's time to wake up, y'all. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. We're here weekdays on CBS Radio, YouTube Live, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. The Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for Southern sports talk. Good morning, Mr. Justin Waller.
Good morning. I don't know much, but I know one thing. Jags fans all mad and worried about their new tight end. Just wait till they remember their coach, franchise tag Cam Robinson. That new tight end's going to be your quarterback.
Hi, I'm Mac McGee, and I don't know much, but I know one thing. Urban Meyer's getting the band back together. Someone call Aaron Hernandez, see what he's up to.
What's up? Do you have any cookie dough? I think so. Let me see. Yeah, we've got chocolate chip and oatmeal raisin.
Oatmeal raisin? I know at least 2 things wrong with that cookie.
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of facts. The all-American man.
Hey, howdy, hi, top of the morning to you. Welcome to the Armchair Quarterback Radio Show. I'm Mac McGee, sitting alongside Justin Waller and Stephen Troche with us this morning. Stephen, how the hell are you, sir?
I'm doing great. I mean, push the show back a little bit, gives me a little bit more time to sleep in. I'm feeling great on this Tuesday.
See, the correct answer would be, gives me a little more time to prepare.
Sleep in.
I'm just being real.
I just hit the snooze button longer. Justin, how are you this morning, sir?
Hell, I'm tired before Steven wakes up. I mean, I just realized that. I mean, I've put in a complete day. Is it lunch?
Sorry about having to redo the, if you were watching from the very beginning, you probably realized that I had to restart the sports flash about halfway through. It was because my stupid board was freezing up. I'm like, we're about to run out of time and I'm going to have absolutely nothing to play here in a second. So I was waiting for it to unfreeze. What I was going to play today was the intro that I know I have somewhere, but it's not where everything else was. I was trying to download it and it froze the board. Was the Blues Brothers. We're getting the band back together. Have you seen the light? Tim Tebow is heading to the Jacksonville Jaguars, although for everyone who's going to get overexcited by his jersey, remember, he's going to be the 6th tight end on the roster. So I don't know if I would go boo bats. I mean, I'm sure there are Gator fans that will just go out there and buy his jersey just to say, well, I've always wanted a TEBOW Jaguar jersey, whether he makes the team or not. Who gives a damn? Justin, I'll let you lead this off. What say you?
It's interesting. I mean, he hasn't played football since 2012, I believe, but he has been playing, I guess you had to call that minor league baseball. You can't call it major. I never won the bet. So minor league baseball for the past, I guess it'd be 8 years. So I'm not going to say he's out of shape or in that, but has he been hit by grown men and linebackers and a Roman free safety? Like, tight ends cover the middle of the field. They don't stand back in the pocket and get rid of the football. But he was a tough quarterback, but I don't know.
I found it interesting. He never even played. I knew he hadn't played the position in college, and obviously in the NFL, but he never even played it in high school. I thought that's why everyone was constantly asking him, why doesn't he just go play tight end? This was years ago, because I thought he had a background in it. So I don't know what the hell they're doing. Steven, what say you?
I mean, the only thing that seems logical is that Myers is trying to get some of the attention off of Trevor Lawrence. And I mean, what better way to do that than to sign Tim Tebow in his hometown? I mean, anybody that's looking at this from a realistic standpoint, he's probably not making the team. If he makes the team, he's going to be nothing more than a gadget player, not going to play any kind of meaningful snaps. That's not a
bad thing to have a guy on 4th down that can what do they call it? Wildcat it.
I mean,
just a good old-fashioned sneak. I don't know if he's elusive enough. I don't know if he was ever elusive enough, but especially 10 years later, elusive enough to do a true wildcat, unless you're just trying to get a few yards. But the way I look at this, I think it's just energizing the fan base. It's fun, something fun to talk to. But everybody knows that has a common sense brain, knows that he's not going to become the star of this team. If he does make this team, and that's a big if, it could be as a on the practice squad, or he could just be, like you're saying, a gadget player when they might have him listed at tight end, but he might be doing more of a emergency quarterback role along with a little bit of tight end if need be. I see him more of an H-back, don't you, Justin?
Yeah, I think he's going to get cute and creative. I think it could be a ploy for the publicity to take it off of Trevor, but I think it's going to backfire. I think it brings more attention to your roster and questions. And I mean, you don't think people are going to ask that question of Mr. Lawrence, are you being mentored by TEBOW? Is he brought in to mentor with Lawrence? And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's fun. I think it's interesting. I just find it interesting that Urban's putting the whole band back together and treating this like the University of Florida. Like he's taking over the state. And I don't know. I don't know that his plan is really going to transition into the NFL. I'm curious. I'm waiting to see. I mean, you just got the #1 overall quarterback, and really all you got to do is just stay out of the news, stay out of the limelight, fly under the radar, and the rest should take care of itself on the field. Build a great offensive line and let this kid work. Don't franchise guys that aren't good at pass protection. But aside from that, I mean, I would lay low. So where you put him, I don't know that it really matters. I mean, I joke that he's going to get lit up and be the starting quarterback because he's going to be the 3rd stringer. So I don't think that's realistic, but I also don't think that the attention is warranted or needed. Just let Trevor kind of lay low in the weeds and just protect him.
It also could be a way to slowly transition TEBOW into coaching, because I just think, look, TEBOW, he's like a lot of great athletes. When they don't know when to hang it up, Pujols. And when they linger on, this might be a way to transition. But look, he could surprise us. Maybe he's got something left in the tank. I do know one thing: if he gets into a preseason game and catches a pass for any amount of yards, the place is going to erupt.
Does my Mets bet roll over to the NFL?
Is he going to hit a home run in the NFL?
Well, wouldn't that be score a touchdown as a tight end?
No, he would have to hit a home run. You've lost that bet, baby.
That's scoring. He would have to score on a single play.
You lost that bet, baby boy.
All right. Well, you want to take it
again? You can try to back your way in. Hey, I see TEBOW's now in the cornhole league. If he I see TEBOW's now releasing a new album. If that thing hits, what is next for Tim Tebow? That'll just make this a traveling show. He hasn't tried the NBA or the NHL yet. That would be fun to see Tebow trying to. I mean, hell, I don't know. Maybe he is good on ice, but I'd like to see him trying to just skate around, getting the hell knocked out of him. He's a big boy, but you know, if you're wobbling, like I know I would be on ice skates, it doesn't matter how big you are, you're gonna get hit hard because you're not gonna have any momentum. I'm gonna be like that. Okay. Moving on from that, real quick, it was kind of a slow day yesterday outside the TEBOW stuff. The EPL has relegated 3 teams. It's official now. It'll be Fulham, Sheffield United, and Westbourne Albion. And to that note, did y'all see this? Because, okay, we all know the Man U incident where there was a riot 2 weeks ago, and then it's either very early this week, like Sunday or Monday, or maybe it was late last week, the Glazer family, these are the same people that own the Bucks, they own Man United, which is pissed off the Man U crowd over in England for years. I think since 2005 is when they've owned them. So they've been cancel culturing the Glazer family since then. They don't believe that Americans should own their sport, which is kind of funny. But they came out and they said, we might be willing to sell shares to English citizens or citizens of the United Kingdom, period. And Conor McGregor came out and said he would do big things with Man United if he were to buy into the club. Can you see this? Conor McGregor being he can't own the entire club because the club is worth way more than what Conor McGregor is worth. But maybe he's going to try to put together a group. But he's out there shooting his mouth off. And he said a conversation came up regarding Celtic, to be honest, to acquire shares from them, but I am certainly interested in acquiring a sports team at some stage. Both Celtic and Man U are teams I like for sure, but I am open. I feel like I could do big things for a club. So you go from the Glazer family, who doesn't know much about soccer, to Conor McGregor, who doesn't know much about PR as far as the good side of it. Would you be intrigued, Steven?
I mean, even if he does, I don't think he would be a primary owner. So, I mean, it would just be kind of like a Drake situation in Toronto, a J-Lo and Mark Anthony thing in Miami. I mean, it would just be kind of, celebrity owners not really having too much say in the club, but they would definitely bring attention. I mean, it's not like Man U hurting for attention, though.
The rapper for the Nets, that when he bought into it, everyone was under the impression he owned the Nets.
Jay-Z.
Yeah, Jay-Z, and he owns like 1%. Although by now I would say he's got the money to do that. He's just probably too smart to go, I don't want all my money in a basketball team. They've been cancel culturing themselves here the last year. Let me see how that play. Let me buy low. Let me wait 2 years from now when the NBA is being televised on the CW, and that's when I'll buy into the NBA and we'll turn it around. Justin, what say you? Would this intrigue you at all?
Yeah, I mean, do we all get a bottle of Proper 12 among entrants? And is Connor working security on the pitch? Because if so, I'm all in, man. Like, you think of the money saved right there. Just have Connor roaming the sideline like the little leprechaun up on his Proper 12 and get you some.
The only way
storm the field there.
The only way that could be better is if the Paul brothers went and bought like Tottenham or Arsenal or something, to create a rivalry where they're fighting each other on Saturday and then their teams are playing each other on Sunday. The other thing that jumped out at me was this tight end from the Kansas City Chiefs that made big headlines a month or two ago. Sean Culkin, who wanted his NFL salary to be converted to Bitcoin, and went on this big thing about it and how he was going to be a trendsetter, and then his ass got cut yesterday by the Chiefs. So I don't know if he's ever even going to make a dime off of this. It says Culkin would have received a salary of $920,000 from the Chiefs in U.S. dollars. Culkin then planned to convert to Bitcoin. So I guess the Chiefs never agreed to pay him in Bitcoin. He was just going to convert it. When the story first came out, he said he wanted it paid in Bitcoin because he felt like that he was going to get this is when Bitcoin was constantly going up. Now it's kind of doing this number. And at the time I was thinking to myself, why in the hell would you do that? Why wouldn't you just invest some of your money into Bitcoin? But anyways, it's kind of a moot point now. But Justin, would you agree to have any of your salary converted into Bitcoin instantly and take the risk? Or will you be like, are you nuts? Can I take this Bitcoin and go to the gas station to actually purchase a beer? Or like, how does this work?
I mean, yeah, I would. I mean, they make cards that you can top off with crypto now. So I have no problem about spending it. A lot of merchants and retailers are taking it. I really think crypto will grow, especially as we see inflation creep in. But I don't know that I would just blatantly take my salary. I want the freedom of investing it when I want to invest it, because I want to buy the dips and sell the highs. I don't want to be locked in to dumping at $60,000 Bitcoin right now. Now, a month and a half ago, yeah, if I was financially well off, I'd have dropped that 970 on $30,000 Bitcoin because it'd be worth $1.8 million right now. But I don't know that I got the cojones to go all in like that. I sit here and say it sounds easy, but even when it drops to 30, you're like, man, is it going to go to 15? So I don't know that I have the stones to push that much in.
What about you, Steven? Have you had much dealings with actually using Bitcoin?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I've got a decent amount in not just Bitcoin itself, but like a few different of the cryptos.
No, I don't mean investing. Have you ever had to purchase with it?
Not purchase, but I have I like not like retailers, but I've definitely purchased a few things online. Yes.
Okay, so my only experience is everybody knows how I've gambled once or twice. There are some betting sites where if you buy in Bitcoin currency, they give you a bonus, and I quit doing it. And I'll tell you why. First of all, the bonuses are usually tricks. Yeah. They usually say, hey, we'll give you 50% bonus. You say, like, that's a good deal. $100 to win 50 and get 50 free. And that's fine if you're going to put an extraordinary amount of money in there and plan on being a long-term gambler. You'll eventually do the rollover, and if you're any good, you'll win. Okay, fair enough. But if you're trying to do the short term, that bonus has to be rolled over so many times that you usually lose your money before you ever get it rolled over. But then the other thing was, you go in and let's say you go to deposit $100 of Bitcoin. You then, by the time that it changes hands 6 or 7 times and goes from your Cash App to them to back and forth, and then finally goes into your account online, your actual betting account. I mean, I remember several times depositing 100 and like, yeah, but and it says, okay, your available balance when it's all said and done was like 93.67 because Bitcoin's doing this the whole time, right? And so you're catching it on the low, but then they make it up for you by giving you 20%. But then you're once again, what I just stated, you get stuck in that. So I quit using it because it's so damn volatile. I think for it to ever become super mainstream, they're gonna have to make it a little less volatile on when it actually changes, right? Like when you're buying and when you're selling, because you don't want to lose several dollars. I can imagine Justin, going in to purchase whatever, and he now finds out that his $200 that he was going to purchase in Bitcoin from, we'll just say Best Buy, is now worth $172. You're going to be kind of pissed off about that.
Yeah. Now, me personally, I wouldn't trade the Bitcoin. I'd trade some other coins, but I'm going to hold on to the commodity there. That's I've got a top 3 that I like to hold, and those aren't for sale or for use. But there's other ones that, I think you just convert them to US dollar coins and top off your card and use it just like a Visa anywhere. Or that's kind of how the prepaid one I have works. So then when you come to the vendor or to the retail, it's a transaction.
All right, fair enough. Let's go into the DFS. Mr. Steven, what are you looking at today on DraftKings?
I'm looking at something that's not going to make either of you very happy. So one of my favorite pitchers today is Robbie Ray. He is, I believe, 7,800 on DraftKings.
You're not gonna hurt my feelings when you get your ass kicked.
I mean, he's looked really good this year. He's got a decent strikeout rate. I get Atlanta has really not been that good against left-handers this year. Actually, one of the higher strikeout rates, really not generating much power. So I mean, I feel like that's a safe matchup, pretty decent price. I'm also going after Brady Singer today. He's at only 5,700, but he gets to face Detroit, which is basically the formula for DFS success: is find whoever's playing Detroit, you play that pitcher, and you win. They are leading the league in strikeouts against right-handers. They are just a putrid offense in general. And then if we're going hitters, I usually try to stay away from cores, but we got, Padres against the Rockies. Santazella is on the mound, and he has just not been that good this year or any year really. So, I mean, that San Diego offense is really looking good to me. I'm also looking at Boston against Chris Bassett and the A's. It's in Boston. Good park for them. Bassett's been kind of up and down. He's has some decent strikeouts, limited some damage, but he is still prone to the long ball, and I think Boston could take advantage of that.
The one pitcher that I find interesting that's pretty affordable today is Ohtani's only 7,400. The only thing that you get hurt by Ohtani, though, sometimes he goes out there, he can't find the plate, and though he might strike out 6, he might walk 7. So that, that's the only thing that concerns you, that he's going up against Houston, but that's a pretty cheap one. Would you be interested at all putting Lamet with his talent, but he's going into Colorado? Would that scare you a little bit?
Lamet scares me because he's like you said with Ohtani, he can generate 14 strikeouts in a game, but he can also balance that out with 10 walks. He just is very inconsistent, struggles with control a lot. I mean, if you catch him on a great day, yeah, he could win you a lot of money, but he could also lose you that much money just as easily.
Now, as far as daily fantasy, Justin, I'll start with you. Not daily, I'm sorry. Your long fantasy. Justin, I'll start with you. Is there anyone that you're kind of getting pissed off at? We're about at the, what are we, about 5, 6, 7 weeks in? Is it 6? I guess this is the 6th week of the actual season in fantasy. Is there anyone that you're like, this is enough? I can't believe I drafted this jackass, and what the hell is going on with him? Justin, you're muted.
Sorry about that, gentlemen. No one that I'm just burnt out with and eager to drop yet. Still too early in the season. I mean, I was getting that way with some of my Braves. I'm a little Brave heavy, obviously, in a couple of my lineups, but they're coming around, so it's not ready to 86 them yet. But there were a couple that were getting kind of close.
What about you?
I can't get off the IL. The IL list is still horrible for me. I'm maxed out, and we increased it this year.
This is a really slow week, by the way. If people are playing are like, man, I'm not projected. There's a lot of teams only playing like 5 games. There's a lot of off days this week. So what typically might win you in a normal week is you can't expect that number in a week like this. Steven, what say you? Are there guys that you're pissed at, or guys that you're starting to come around on? Because one of the guys that I like that we talked about on Saturday, he hasn't been phenomenal. He's just been solid, and he was available in a lot of leagues. I think he's still available in quite a few leagues out there. Cole Irvin of the A's. He's got a 3.29 ERA, 107 WHIP. You'd like a better strikeout rate, but it's not terrible. He's 41 innings pitched, 37 strikeouts. So it's not like he's a soft tosser. But I don't know how sustained he'll be in a 4-category league. Be wary. He's going to Minnesota this week, so Minnesota can still hit.
Yeah. No, I mean the main one that's really been getting to me is this, and this is just solely because of injuries. Is Christian Yelich. I mean, like last year, he had the back.
What's the latest on him? Is he close to coming back?
He came back. He came back, played 1 game, and next day went right back on the IL, and it's
he's James Harden.
It's not looking good.
He's James Harden, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, I mean, he was killing it when he when he was healthy. I just kind of getting scared about his future, not just for this year, but in general. But I mean, like outside of that, I'm a guy who has had Luis Castillo on my team for years now, and I am used to, a 6.5 ERA in the first half and then a 2.1 in the second half. So I have learned to be very patient in fantasy baseball.
Yeah, the one guy that he had a lot of promise, but he's just not living up to his stuff with me is Tristan McKenzie. He still gets the strikeouts, but man, his whip and ERA are through the roof. And I've watched him twice this year because I was like, "The hell's wrong with this guy?" And I'm watching him, and he's just all over the damn place. He gets behind the counts quickly, and then it's scorched earth when it's a 3-1 count. So I think long term he's probably got some really high upside, and I was really big on him. I even kept him in our keeper league, but at this point I'm like, man, I probably could have kept someone a lot better than him.
I mean, the one thing to keep in mind with him is he debuted last year, but hadn't really pitched for a year and a half, 2 years before that. So he got some action last year, but he is still very rusty. He has a lot of, things to work out again, and just a lot until his arm is up to full strength. So, I mean, I'm not too worried about him yet. If we're talking, halfway through next year and we're seeing the same exact control issues, yeah, I'll be worried, but.
We're up at that time. Steve, we'll start with you. What's your walk-off for the day, sir?
Walk-off for the day, just play some Padres, and you should be good tonight. I got a feeling they're really going to go off against Sensatella.
And Justin, what is your walk-off for the day, sir?
Can't spell TEBOW without T-E. Tied in.
I'll start looking for a TEBOW Jags.
Like that Preds hat, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Have a great day, sir.
Yes, sir. We'll be back in a flash here on the Armchair Quarterbacks. When we come back, Bobby's with us, so we're going to be talking some National Football League. Stay tuned here on the Armchair Quarterbacks.
No, I don't want them to gain another yard. You blitz all night. And if they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm going to take every last one of you out. You make sure they remember forever the night they played the Titans.
Armchair Quarterback Radio Show. We cover the whole SEC all season long.
First and goal. Franks. Jump pass. Hello, TEBOW. From going deep. High arcing shot. It is hauled in. Terry Godwin. And he stays up. Godwin dances into the end zone. 75 yards. Tagovailoa flushed out of the pocket. He'll run with it. He's got the first down and more. Still on the run. He is gone. Touchdown, Alabama. Second down and 10. Garantano over the middle. Ty Chandler. It's a race to the end zone, and he wins it. 42 yards. Touchdown, Tennessee. What a great.
This is
Armchair.
Enjoy sun-drenched days, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Our hotels, attractions, and restaurants have taken the Visit Lauderdale's Safe and Clean pledge, so you can relax and explore with confidence. When you're ready for that well-deserved staycation, our 23 miles of golden beaches await. Find wide-open spaces to hike, bike, kayak, and paddleboard. Visit your favorite attractions, then dine out in style in socially distanced dining rooms or al fresco on waterfront patios. Learn more at sunny.org.
Take the scenic route in the new Hyundai Santa Fe, the family SUV with available H-Track all-wheel drive to help you travel way off the beaten path. Find new adventures together in the Hyundai Santa Fe.
This is Jim Rome. Join me in the jungle for your phone calls and the biggest names in sports. Stop by weekdays, noon until 3 Eastern, 9 to noon Pacific.
Armchair.
Good morning. Welcome back here to the Armchair Quarterbacks radio show. Joining us is Mr. Bobby. Bobby,
Yes,
how
sir.
are you this
Thank
morning,
you.
sir?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Bobby, what is your last name? Forgive me.
Schneider.
Schneider. I knew
Yes,
you had
sir.
told me, but I didn't save it in the phone. And I knew it had
Yeah.
something to do with TV. You're way too young to remember this, but there was a famous character on a famous sitcom named Schneider years and years ago, long before you were ever conceived. And they just called him Schneider. And when you told me that was the first thing that popped in my head.
Interesting.
I might get his pickup for you next week. You'll be like, wait a minute, I don't know if I want to be associated. He's kind of like he was a stereotypical handyman. Bobby the Kid, what's going on with you today, man? How's your was your Mother's Day all cracked up to be?
It was good. I wasn't able to see my mom. I was out of town actually. I was out in Arizona visiting some family on my dad's side because we were celebrating graduation. I got graduation coming up actually later today, so we were out there celebrating that. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. So, but I was able to call her and text her and make sure I wish her a happy Mother's Day. So that went well.
So does she live in Tennessee?
Yes, sir. She does.
Okay. So you've been able to see her since then, correct?
Yes, sir. I have. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
I've been back in town since yesterday.
So which high school are you graduating from up there?
Oakland High School.
Oakland.
Right in Middle Tennessee. Yes, sir.
Yeah, there's a lot of Riverdale people that watch this show. So
okay.
Watch out.
I know a little bit about Riverdale.
Used to be a really big rivalry. I don't know if it still is. I remember there being.
It is. I know Oakland and Blackman have it out for each other a little bit. Same with Siegel. And I know Riverdale is one of the big ones as well. So.
Okay, so you're out there. You must live out there in the Thompson Lane area ish.
Yes, sir. Around that.
Gotcha. I did not go to Murfreesboro high schools, but I was very aware of. I lived in Murfreesboro for quite a while. When I was originally from Florida, but long story short, graduated from McGavock High School in Nashville, and got the same reaction from everybody every time I tell them McGavock graduate. They're like, "And you're still alive?" For people who don't know, that's a rough school, man. If you've ever seen the old movie Lean on Me with Morgan Freeman, that's the school I went to. It was, you had to have a hard nose and harder fist to get through that damn thing, and a hard head. I've told this to people several times. I never remember a day in the school that I went to in Nashville. So I went there for about 2 years. I don't remember a day where there wasn't a fight. You either saw it or you heard about it. Oh man, there's the East Wing, da 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 da. Or you're like, and then it got to the point you're like, get out of my way! I'm trying to go to class. You're there throwing. Get out of the way!
I've had those experiences before. There's been a fight breakout in the bathroom when I've been trying to handle business sometimes, and in the hallways. I've seen it all. Believe me, I know how it is.
Well, this was 24/7. This was
I can imagine.
My first experience at McGavock High School. I just been checked in. Parents put me in there. I was moving from Jacksonville. Get up there. I see it's a big school. When I see big, I don't realize it's going to be deadly. I just figured it was like, it was middle of Nashville. I'm coming from Jacksonville, where our high schools just weren't as big. There were decent size, but they were nowhere near the size of McGavock. I was like, damn, this thing looks like a college campus. So I was like, okay, it's cool. I'm not thinking anything of it. We get checked in, they bring my paperwork, okay, head off to class. And whatever it was, by the time they were done with it, it was either second or third period by this time. And I sit down, and I was a much smaller guy. I was about your size okay. So before I ever knew what pushing a weight or pulling a beer towards me was. And so I'm sitting there, I'm a little nervous, I'm new. And there's this rough looking chick, tall, but rough looking chick. Okay. And she's like, "You're cute. What's your name?" And I'm like, "Oh God, what the hell is?" And so I kind of blew her off. I was like, "Man, I'm not going to be, friendly to her." And then 2 periods later, walking to class, that chick grabs another chick and pulls her back and smacks her full blown in the teeth like a man. I mean, it was an actual.
Oh my God.
It was. I mean, she dropped elbow and everything. It wasn't like one of those girl punches. You know, I mean, she am like that. On. Oh crap! I guess that's my girlfriend now because I was terrified she was going to keep hitting on me. I was a little guy, and I was like, it was less than a week later. My dad catches me in the gym at the apartment that we were staying at the time because we just moved there, so we hadn't decided if we're going to buy a house. And he asked me because I was a little guy. All I'd ever done was play basketball. I was real skinny. He goes, "What the hell are you doing in the gym so much recently?" I said, Dad, they are kicking each other's ass in there. And you know me, I've got a big mouth, so I don't run. So I've got to be able to take 2 or 3 of them with me. He goes, all right, fair enough. And so
as long as you can hold your own.
To fast forward, I put on about 40 pounds of muscle between September of my junior year and the summer heading into my senior year. Because when I came back to visit home, they were all like none of them recognized me, and they thought it was because I was out there baling hay in Tennessee. I was like, no, dude, I'm in the gym because I'm in like the roughest school in Tennessee. I was like, I didn't even know they had ghettos in Tennessee. I was like, this place is a damn madhouse. And they're like, really? I was like, yeah. I was like, I've been in 7 fights this year. I was like, they're like, in school? I was like, yeah, because in Jacksonville you fought, but you usually fought out of school. Like, they're like, dude, you have to. I was like, someone threw us down. You're like, oh, I ain't scared. Let's go. Like, it's a nightmare. Anyways, enough of that memory lane horse crap. Let's go ahead and move on to the National Football League. Aaron Rodgers, where do you see him landing? Because I've got 2 specific places that I think he could be, and I think he'd be good fits. It's whether or not these teams would give up the capital to get him, and whether or not Green Bay would want their capital. Where do you see Aaron Rodgers landing?
If I had to pick a main team that I think he'll wind up on if he were to be traded, I'm zeroing in on the Broncos. There's been a lot of talk about him being traded out there with the team in the AFC, which I think if the Packers are going to move him, they're going to want to keep him out of the NFC at all costs. That means taking less of a return. They'll probably end up doing that. Another team I've seen is the Raiders, but I don't know. I think the Broncos are the team that if it's going to go down and he gets traded, I think he'll wind up in Denver.
Yeah, I keep seeing the Denver thing. I guess they would want Drew Lock and just a slew of draft picks is essentially how they would come about that. Or maybe they don't want Drew Lock. Maybe they're like, no, Jordan Love is going to be our guy. Really, it would be very defining where they thought Jordan Love was if Drew Lock was a part of the scenario. Because
I'd say
if he's not, if they keep him, then they're saying, Aaron, we're going to build around you for these next few years, but we never know when you're going to retire. So Home Slice is going to go sit on the bench, and we're going to see if he can become you like he be. You know, I know you're much younger, but this is essentially how Aaron Rodgers came to be who Aaron Rodgers is. He sat behind Brett Favre for about 3 seasons, and when he was drafted in the first round, pissed off Favre. This is Groundhog Day in Green Bay. I mean, it's really is. It's kind of funny it's come full circle. But the AFC team that I think he has the best fit for, and I meant to bring this up last hour because Steven is a big Dolphins fan. I was going to get his take, and we got sidetracked with other stupid crap I brought up like Bitcoin, like I always do. But I see the Miami Dolphins as a perfect fit because, first of all, you could get Tua Tagovailoa back in the draft. In the trade. And then I think you could get at least 2 number 1s along with it. Okay. So you get a guy who was drafted pretty high, although a lot of people are questioning if LaFleur looked at tape and said, I think I can do something with him. Aaron Rodgers goes into a situation where he's got a brand new toy in Waddle. He's got a decent offensive team around him. I wouldn't say great, but they do have some capabilities. Plus, we all know Aaron Rodgers go to South Beach instantly free agents are going to want to start going there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, that defense is getting better by the day.
Oh yeah.
So that's my favorite. I think the best overall fit is the Washington football team, but it's like you said, I just don't know if they will trade him to an NFC team. We know they won't trade him to an NFC Central team. I've seen teams rumored like, you know, the Lions and whatnot. I'm like, they would just, you would never trade him in your division, and then you start sucking for the next 3 or 4 years while you're trying to rebuild. And this jackass goes out and wins the Lions a Super Bowl. The other option I could see is, what if you bought low on, and he's in the AFC, what if you bought low on Deshaun Watson? If Deshaun Watson gets cleared of all his BS, and that's a big if, but even if it comes down to, dude, you did it, you're screwed, you have to pay these women, and you're going to get suspended by the league for X amount of games, whatever it is this year. But that's okay. We're going to take you because we believe in your talent, and you'll take one on the chin, but by next year, this will all be forgotten, and we'll have a pretty high draft pick because you're going to get suspended for 8 games or whatever Goodell decides to do to you.
Yeah.
That would be, I would hate it as someone who follows the Jaguars and is a Titans fan, but that would be intriguing as hell to have him go down. The only thing is, with him having a no trade clause, would he accept going to Houston? Because they're a mess.
That's the question mark. I don't think he'd want to go play in Houston. I mean, Green Bay, they don't have the best receiving core. They have Devontae Adams, of course, but outside of him, they don't have much.
He's a free agent still, and he's saying that he's not going to sign a re-up because obviously he wants to see how this whole thing plays out.
Yeah, I don't think Rodgers would waive his no trade clause just to go to Houston. I think that situation is exponentially worse than the Packers is. So I don't think that would happen. It would be interesting to see though, and I think honestly, if Watson is, hypothetically, if it never happened, the accusations and all that, I would say he probably has more value than Rodgers because he's a lot younger, for one, and two, he has room to grow. You know, there's a lot of, and with just seeing what he's done in Houston with that team where he hasn't had much to work with, I think he probably, you know, if he comes back, you know, full force, I think he could be better than Rodgers at some point. So I wouldn't hate that.
Yeah, I mean the sky's the limit with Watson. It's just. And I think if he got over there, I think you could look, if you make the trade for Watson, I think at that point you could talk Devontae Adams into staying. The problem is, can you convince Aaron Rodgers that he wants to go to Houston? Where,
that's the tough part.
I mean, I know that they've got new management now, and I get that. And so turning the corner, et cetera, et cetera. But does he want to be a part of a rebuilding project? That's going to be the issue. You know, they don't even have Will Fuller anymore. Much less D-Hop. So you don't have either one of them. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to say, hey, Rodgers, come on down here and play with Kiki Kuti.
Yeah, I mean, without Rodgers and assuming Watson isn't back next season early, which I don't think he will be, you're looking at a team that's going to be a lock for a top 3 pick. So I don't think
Broncos fans, but I think it would be much more exciting for the league if Rodgers ends up with the Raiders or the Dolphins.
I agree. I think I've seen that's the only reason I mentioned the Broncos is because of how much rumors are surrounding that. But I do think Miami would,
and they got the capital to do it, and so it makes perfect sense. I'm just saying, from an NFL fan, I'd rather see him go. And I know that's a dumb reason. I don't have any skin in the game, but I'd rather see him in Miami or Oakland or Vegas than in Denver, because first of all, I would love to see the infighting between Gruden and Aaron Rodgers. I think that would be entertaining as hell.
That would be
those two egos in the same room, along with their general manager. His name escaping me. Yeah, Mayock. The NFL. I mean, we're gonna hire a guy from a television show to make him our general manager. So just be ready, Bobby. the Texans might be reaching out to you here. So we really liked your take that day on the Arizona Cardinals, and we're gonna put you in charge of our entire team.
I'll give it a shot. I think I could rebuild them. I'll give it a shot.
I mean, my God, if you're gonna draft, if you're gonna hire Mayock, I mean, why did you hire the generic version? Why did you have to go after Mel Kiper? Right?
Yeah.
If you're gonna get a guy here, you go after Mel Kiper. Mayock was never right on anything.
Yeah, I don't hate the Raiders draft this year. I like their second round pick, but overall, there's been a lot of questions surrounding their picks. It seems like a lot of reaches.
I got 2 letters for you. A, B. They've done a terrible job. A, B. They brought that dumbass in, and and they've been fighting that. They've got some good talent. Yeah, they've got some interesting talent on the team, but it would be so much fun to watch them bring in Rodgers, because I think he would be intrigued to go play in Las Vegas, right? That's why I think he would do, because it's Las Vegas, for people who aren't familiar with the out west. It's about 2 hours away from Los Angeles, and he wants to be a television star with his daytime Jeopardy thing that he did. I don't know about that stuff. I saw some clips and they were somewhat okay. I guess it's I saw it too much with Alex Trebek for me to believe that Aaron Rodgers can be an Alex Trebek.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I read a little bit about it, and people were saying
Alex Trebek always came off as very intelligent. Is the thing. And so when I was a kid growing up, I honestly thought Alex Trebek was like a genius. Right? Because you watch it, he knows everything. Of course, you're going to find out later that but he comes off very intelligent. You can't replace him full time with the damn football player.
It's not going to work.
And I'm not saying every football player is dumb. There are a lot of bright ones, but the perspective of it was really, that's what we went with.
That's the best we got.
That's exactly. I was like, couldn't you go after a famous chess player or something? Something. And Aaron Rodgers, he's got an okay personality, but it doesn't jump off of the screen at me. He's more of a tongue-in-cheek kind of guy. Moving on from that real quick, what's your take living in Middle Tennessee, Arizona fan, Tim Tebow to the Jacksonville Jaguars to reignite this franchise?
Man, I'm excited for it. I think it's I really am hoping that he makes a 53-man roster. That'd be fun to see him take snaps in the regular season. That'd be so entertaining because, I'm a Florida fan, and you know that. And,
do you even remember him playing for Florida? Because it's
all too well. Okay. I remember those championships. I remember standing up and watching.
Is he the reason why you became a Florida fan?
He isn't the reason. No, it's just because my mom was I was born in Florida. My mom was a Florida fan. All that. I was kind of raised into it. But Tebow, I loved him. I actually met him about 6 or 7 years ago. He's an awesome guy, and watching him, he was my favorite player growing up, and he still is probably in college football. I really hope he gets the chance to give it what he's got. Will he be, a top tight end? No, I highly doubt that.
Because you would have.
But will it be fun to watch? Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, what have you been, like 6 years old when Tebow was playing?
About then, yeah, about that age.
So I wasn't sure.
But I tell you, I remember the Oklahoma championship all too well. All too well.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sure you, as a Florida State fan, you remember it for the wrong reasons, but
yeah. I was actually watching it in Middle Tennessee, but I was living in Florida by then. I'm pretty sure. I think I was up there visiting for like the Christmas time kind of thing. I was like, oh, don't let him win one. Don't.
I remember the Chris Leak days as well before Tebow.
Yeah, I absolutely hated him, but since he went to the NFL and whatnot, I no longer hate him because he seems like he's a little phony, but he seems like a genuinely nice guy and a good guy.
He's very nice.
So
very nice.
I'm not pulling against him. I know a lot of people probably think that I'm sitting here in Jacksonville and go, oh God, not Tebow. I'm like, that's different, man. I don't get as emotional and with the hatred when it comes to the National Football League. I'm a Titans fan through and through, but I do tend to pull for Jacksonville because we live here. It's weird.
Yeah.
They're in the same division, and typically that would be against my rule. But considering where I've lived majority of my life, these are my two cities. I would love nothing more for them to be split up into different divisions. But anyways, and so I don't hate Urban Meyer right now. I don't hate Tim Tebow right now. It is a head scratcher, but I think it's more publicity than it is. This is going to do something. They're sitting there bitching and moaning about it right now. I see it on all the different networks, and you're, what is he doing? This is ridiculous. And I'm like, man, this is
training camp hasn't
this is
started.
promo. Yeah, this is promotion 101 is all it is. They're going to be fans back in the stands for the first time in full capacity come this year, but also they're going to be able to charge admission to summer camp. They're going to be people out there paying $5, $10, whatever the hell you can charge them anything to go see Trevor Lawrence and Tim Tebow. Drooling. So it's just, I'm not saying they will charge, but if they wanted to, they could charge. My biggest
people will be out there.
I wonder if he'll still wear 15 or if he'll pick something else.
Does the new rule? Do you know if the new rule lets tight ends wear 15? Or no?
I was thinking about it this morning and I have a chance to look it up. I don't know for sure. He would be an H back if so. So if they put him as an H back, which is technically like a running back, yes, he could wear 15. If he was actually going to set up on the line, I don't see why he couldn't wear 15, because you could say, no, man, he's a receiver. But it would have to do whether or not he was covering the tackle or not. So I would say he probably can, and that's probably be the number he'll use. But who knows? And who knows if he'll ever see the actual NFL field. Randall Moore. Where do you see him fantasy football? Rondell Moore from Purdue heading out to Arizona, electric receiver going to the Cardinals. Where do you see his fantasy outlook this year?
I think there's a little bit of injury concern given his injury history at Purdue. But he's a guy I wouldn't hesitate to pick if, he was one of the top players on the board. He's very electrifying, like you said. He can, and it's kind of up to how he'll be used in the Cardinals offense. I can see him having a sort of Curtis Samuel role, if you know about him, on the Panthers before he went to Washington. He was used a lot in the run game and on like jet sweeps and stuff because of his speed and short passes where he can get out in open field. I see a lot of that probably in the Cardinals offense, and I think he'll thrive in that role if he's given it. I also think he's a deep play threat because of his speed. He can just burn guys on straight routes and, get big plays off of that. So I think there's a lot we can use him for in the offense. And Cliff Kingsbury said it himself. He said, this year we're trying to win. So we're drafting guys that we think can play now. We're not going for the red shirt mentality that we've been doing. We're trying to get guys that'll play now. So I think that'll keep consistent with Rondell Moore. And I think he'll have a role selected for him in the offense and he'll flourish.
I'm excited to see what he can do. It should be really, really interesting. My God, I just turned on on my stocks. Tesla's in the tank. I'm turning that damn thing.
Oh no.
Look at that. It's depressing. So speaking of stocks, tight end that was cut by the Chiefs that was going to get paid in crypto. Real curious before we put a bow on this. Would you ever agree to that to get paid in crypto, or would you want the old fashioned, I want X amount of dollars. I don't want that thing fluctuating as you're trying to send it to me?
Yeah, that's a bit risky. He said he planned to convert his entire salary, which was about $1 million, into Bitcoin, which I don't know. I think there's a good chance that it works out, or would have worked out well for him. I think they cut him. But if he would have gotten that money, I guess it probably would have worked out well for him considering the trajectory that Bitcoin's been on. But at the same time, like you said, how much it fluctuates, I feel like that would stress someone out too much and it wouldn't be worth the risk of it,
Yeah, I thought this guy was newer to the league than what he is. Evidently, he's played 3 seasons with the Chargers, and I don't see him. Let me see. I don't see him listed. Oh, I guess he did play a total of 2 catches for the 2020 season. So when I first saw the story, I was under the impression there was somebody that was getting drafted that was also talking about doing this too. But I don't remember who that was. It wasn't a high draft pick, but I thought they were one and the same. Evidently, this guy's been in the league a few years because he will be 28 years old come June. To do that, I don't think the guy really understands crypto, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I think you're going to get paid a lot less if you did that. By the time it changes hands, I just think you're going to lose a lot of money.
That's true.
And it's not like it's one thing he says, I want the Bitcoin stock. It's another thing to say that I want Bitcoin currencies paid to me.
Yeah.
And he was talking about the currency, and that's just, I don't know. It's time to
tell you what.
Go ahead.
Okay, Russell Okung on the Chargers. He's a tackle for him. He's very smart, man. He's incredibly smart. He actually got paid in Bitcoin. His full salary, I believe, his last contract or his last yearly salary, he got paid fully in Bitcoin as he requested. And I assume since then, it's been a little bit since he got that contract. So I assume by now he's made quite a bit of money off of it. But
right, but you could do the same thing if they just send you the money and then you buy your Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, why do I want it all in Bitcoin?
Yeah, maybe put like half and half. Put half in Bitcoin, so at least if it doesn't go well,
you just have a financial advisor say, look, when my check comes in, X amount needs to go to Bitcoin every week. That's it. I mean, I just don't get me, because I won't rehash that story, but you do these on these gambling sites, and if you buy on Bitcoin, by the time, and it only takes a few minutes, by the time it gets back to you, you usually have lost around almost 1% of your money. It's very rare that I've bought in on 100 and gotten it back and it was worth like 104. It was usually worth like $93. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? All right, it's time to turn back time and walk-offs here on Armchair Quarterbacks. Here we go. On this date in 1959, Yogi Berra, catcher Yogi Berra, his errorless streak ends at 148 games. That is an unbelievable feat for a catcher to not have an error for 148 consecutive games. We're not talking about a damn left fielder, right? Who maybe gets 3 balls hit to him a night. This is a catcher. Unbelievable. I remember knowing about that record years ago and just thinking, oh my God. Also on this date, 1963, the great Sandy Koufax, greatest left-handed pitcher of all time, no matter what anyone ever tells you, throws his second career no and beats another San Francisco Giant great, Juan Marichal, 8-0. I bet that was a hell of a ticket to get back then. Koufax versus Marichal. Young Bobby, have you ever heard of either one of those guys?
What was their names again?
Sandy Koufax and Juan Marichal.
Can't say I have. Those are baseball players, correct?
Yeah, like they are all time.
Yeah, I'm not a big baseball guy, and I can't say I've heard those guys.
That's a cop out. You got to know your sports, man. You got to know.
Yes, sir.
Sandy Koufax. If you ever go, the great thing about baseball, the numbers always tell the truth. You go back and look at Sandy Koufax's career, and you compare it to other baseball statistics, which are really easy to do compared to like football, where the game has changed and whatnot.
Yeah,
Sandy Koufax was an all-timer. He had to retire early in his career because of an arm injury, but he was on the Los Angeles Dodgers right after they moved out to LA. And he was also the first Jewish player to not play on, I think it was Yom Kippur. It's the one that takes place during September. he would not play on whatever that day is. Later on, other players have done it, but it was very it was a big deal back there in the 50s and 60s because this was right after the Holocaust. Birthdays.
It's your birthday today.
What is this? May 11th.
Yes, I'll try to explain that on this day.
Happy birthday, Corey Fuller. Do you know that name?
I do. I recognize it. I sure do.
Happy 50th for Corey Fuller, NFL cornerback for the Minnesota Vikings. Also played at the Florida State University. Happy birthday, Patrick Sapp. He's 48 years old. Outside linebacker. And he is from Jacksonville, Florida. Played for the Chargers. I want to say there was one more that I was wanting to hit, but I don't see it right now. So I might have to. Oh, yeah, there it is. Happy birthday to Joey Errol, his favorite player in the history of the National Football League. Cam Newton is 32 years old today. Heisman Trophy quarterback in 2010. Of course, went to the Super Bowl with the Panthers and is currently realizing he is now a backup for the New England Patriots. What is your walk-off for the day, sir?
NHL playoffs. Just in 4 days, they kick off. May 15th is when they start.
I'm so ready.
I'm looking forward to it.
For the playoffs. The regular season's kind of unwatchable for me, but I'm so ready for the playoffs. And now that the Celtics are going to officially be done because Jaylen Brown's out for the season, I'm so ready. Have they already set the time for the Preds when they're going to play?
I don't know for sure if that's announced, but I know that the playoffs kick off on Saturday night, May 15th. Let's see.
And then the following week,
the Capitals and Bruins are going to start it. That's they'll go at it, and then I think it's based on when the teams that are supposed to play, I guess, clinch. It's kind of just based off of that when they start. But I know the Predators are playing the Hurricanes, and I'm looking forward to that. The playoff atmosphere.
At least they'll be on, because in years past when the Preds were in the Western Conference, they'd be playing teams to 10, 11 o'clock at night. So I'm glad that they're going to be playing. I know that they don't have much of a chance of beating Carolina, but at least the games will be on earlier. Same thing with the. It looks like it'll be the Panthers versus the Lightning down here, which is going to be a big rivalry here in Florida, and those will obviously.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Something tells me that's going to be like 4 o'clock Eastern on C-SPAN. That's just because they're gonna hammer the hell out of any team. They're gonna make sure the Islanders, the Bruins, all those Northeast teams are on the big one. My walk off for the day is it is a great day for Major League Baseball. You got a full slate involved, and if you're looking for a couple of good pitching matchups, well, first of all, Bieber's taking the mound. Anytime Shane Bieber takes the mound, you always want to pay attention to that. They're playing the Cubs at 6 o'clock, but the Braves still don't know who their starting pitcher is. They're going to announce it later on today. So that's interesting, going up against Robbie Ray. But if you're looking for one to kind of sink your teeth into, the Orioles are at the Mets tonight, 7:10 Eastern. I believe that's actually the MLB Network game of the night, but I'm not sure. But regardless, John Means, coming off his no-hitter, is going up against Marcus Stroman. If you're not a baseball fan, you want to see something good, you want to see something impressive, watch those two go at it. And, of course, when Ohtani hits the mound, that's always entertaining. All right, Mr. Bobby Schneider. I got to get that theme song from the One Day at a Time. We'll see you next Tuesday, sir. Great job.
Yes, sir.
And
thank you.
We will see y'all mañana. We've got Sean with us tomorrow, and we're going to be look. Tomorrow is the big day for NFL fans, right? It's schedule release day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. All right. You too.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on these CBS Sports affiliates and catching the show on YouTube Live. We're here weekdays. Find Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live today. Please subscribe and share and take us everywhere you go. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for Southern sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Gonna get another cigarette.